What's good, ladies and gents? Welcome to the MKO Pugilism Boxing channel where we talk all things boxing. Remember, of course, to like, subscribe, hit the bell notification, put it on all so you get notified of all the latest content as and when it drops on the channel. So let's talk about it. There's a big weekend of boxing just gone by, and I'm going to cover one of the main event basically from the Amazon Prime PBC card, which was meant to be Tszyu versus Keith Thurman, but of course Keith Thurman gets injured. In steps the 6'5" or 6'6" Sebastian Fundora, completely different style matchup. So this presented, should I say, completely different problem for Tszyu. And let's talk about it. So this fight was a war of attrition. It was blood and guts, all that sort of stuff. Tszyu, for his part, he started the fight very well. He was able to sort of overcome the height differential because you see these guys next to each other. It's ridiculous that the big height difference between the two guys. But Tszyu was able to get in. He was able to do his damage. He was able to land the southpaw killer, which is the right hand, and he was able to sort of land that, stay on the outside, and be able to sort of rush in with the shots, get that right hand going. And Tszyu, he boxed very well. For me, I think he kind of took the first two rounds, and he was doing well. He was doing well in the fight. It looked like, in spite of the size and the height difference, Tszyu showed quite impressive speed and everything. So it was looking quite good for him. You could see the height was there. Fundora, for his part, he was trying to box using long straight punches. So it looked like for once Fundora was boxing in a way where he was using his height rather than sort of neglecting it as he normally does. So yeah, opening two rounds for me. I thought Tszyu he deserved to take those two rounds, but then the problem started and the whole fight turned on its head at the end of that second round, because the end of the second round, if you watch the fight, that's where it all changed. Where Tszyu, unfortunately, he sustained a gash on the front part of his head, the sort of the top right towards the front, and it's because it was confusing at first when you watch it live, but you watch it again, you see where in the replays they show you. And it was at Tszyu, unfortunately for him, his head caught right on the point of one of Sebastian Fundora's elbows, and that's where the pattern of the fight kind of changed, because from that moment onwards, Tszyu was having to deal with bad vision because the where the cut was, the blood was continuously sort of streaming down his face and streaming into his eyes. So he had to fight now from that second round onwards with the impaired vision. So they took a turnaround there, and Tszyu, for his part, in spite of the impairment he suffered, he done very well throughout the rest of the fight. But you could always see that he was just at this disadvantage with the vision, where he was constantly having to try and get the blood off and after every round. So he was trying to do his thing and get in, get out, but unfortunately, due to the blood streaming and everything, Fundora was able to sort of outbox Tszyu, because Tszyu, to his credit, he still fought well, he still boxed well. And you could tell that if he didn't have that injury, it probably would have been a different fight. But, he still made it quite close, only lost by a split decision in the end. And, Fundora, to his credit, in spite of what you want to say about it, things happen in boxing, these freak accidents happen. And Fundora, for his part, done very well, because he just sort of kept the fight long, was constantly landing the straight punches, using his long straight punches and catching Tszyu as Tszyu tried to come in. And he boxed very good, Fundora. Used the southpaw advantage well, made Tszyu have to take punches every time he comes in. And, Fundora boxed like a tall man, like a sort of tall man should, by, not letting the smaller guy sort of just come in. You know, every time he tries to come in, you punish him. You try and you land your shots on him, hit him as he comes in, and that's what Fundora done really throughout this fight. Just nice, kept it nice and long. And you know, Tim Tszyu, as much as I do give him credit for making it close as possible, but he was just getting caught too many times as he was trying to come in and attack. And obviously, with that, you know, that injury he had. So for me, yeah, very clear victory for Fundora, because he was always, you know, whenever Tim Tszyu would try and come in and attack, he would have to pay, he'd have to take shots on the way in and on the way out. So, you know, Fundora was the one sort of landing more shots, and you could tell that his boxing, his style was the more effective in there, and you know, he was obviously the one landing more shots in there. So yeah, very good performance by Fundora. Very unfortunate for Tim Tszyu. Some have pointed out that perhaps Tim Tszyu's corner should have pulled him out, and there's definitely an argument for that. That because of how bad the cut was, you could argue that, you know, Tim Tszyu's corner should have just pulled him out and then just settled for a draw before 4 rounds or whatever. Could have done that, but hey, that's not what happened. And now it's pretty sad in a way for Tim Tszyu, because going into this fight, this is a, you know, sort of last minute replacement opponent, and there was no rematch clause in the contract for Tim Tszyu. And as those of you who watched it will know, Errol Spence entered the ring, you know, to sort of pose with Fundora, and it looks like it will probably be Errol Spence getting Fundora next. So that's very unlucky for Tim Tszyu if that happens, because I think if you're Tim Tszyu, you'd like a rematch to sort of right the wrong, but it looks like it's probably going to be Errol Spence. Anyway, let me know what you thought about this fight in the comment section below. And until next time, it's MKO Pugilism over and out. Catch you next time.